When I think back to the past couple of years, there's a lot of things I learned, a lot of mistakes I made, and just a lot of not necessarily wins or losses, but just moments, moments of growth, moments of reflection, moments of solitude. And I think we often forget to take the time to really reflect on those moments, really reflect on the path that our lives are headed in, and really reflect on the legacy that we're looking to build. Some of you, maybe you don't think you can even build a legacy to begin with. You think, oh, I'm not lucky. I don't have what it takes. You think other people have some sort of gift that you don't, that they were just dealt better cards. But the truth is, we're all dealt, stutter, we're all dealt a tough hand. We all have our shortcomings. We all have things that make us feel insecure. But what creates champions, winners, success isn't perfection. It's not avoiding mistakes and being 100% right. It's moving forward in spite of those mistakes and constantly adapting, constantly being optimistic towards your goals and your path, and constantly being in a state of hope and faith and trust. And when you operate from that mindset, it's hard to really even look at failure as something negative. Really, you kind of realize there's not much that's negative at all. It's just our way of perceiving those experiences. One person will look at failure and say, that was embarrassing, that was devastating, I can't believe that happened. While another person looks at it as, I learned a lot. I learned what didn't work, I learned what I could try next, and maybe it didn't turn out how I intended, but I learned. I gained wisdom. I gained experience. Gained. Just because the outcome was not your expectation or what you perceived as success doesn't mean that failure makes you a failure or that you failed. It just means you might have to go back to the drawing board, soak up whatever you got to soak up from that experience, and then adapt. As human beings, it's a skill that we naturally have. The fact that we can adapt based on the situation, circumstance. Maybe you move to a new country, you lose a loved one, you sprain your ankle. But those are all examples of us adapting, because when that happens, we enter a new unexpected state where we're forced to adapt. Otherwise, what happens? You just have a sprained ankle forever. You're miserable in the new place you move to forever. You hate your new job. No, you adapt, and then once you've adapted to the situation, you can assess and see what's next. See if you want to stay in that new country. See what type of exercises you have to do to fully get back to full recovery with that sprained ankle. See if that job is something that you see yourself doing for the next 5-10 years or more, or if it's one more thing to knock off the list of what you never want to do again. But all those examples, some people look at as like a negative experience or challenging if it doesn't go how they perceived it. No one expects to sprain their ankle, or at least I hope not. No one expects to move to a new country and hate it, but the reality is sometimes that is the case. And no one expects to have their next job be the most excruciating job they've ever had, but that could be the case. But the difference in how that outcome shapes you is how you perceive it. Do you look at it as, oh, this was a terrible experience, I'm a failure for this, I made a terrible mistake? Or do you look at it as, okay, well, I learned this, this works, this doesn't work, I can do this in the future to avoid X, Y, Z, and then you just adapt. And you take everything from a state of gratitude, and you appreciate the fact that you're even here for the moment to experience those type of things. If you're experiencing a low, it's only because you felt what it's like to be at a higher high. If you're experiencing a sprained ankle, it might hurt and you might feel bad, but it's only because you know what it's like to have a fully healthy ankle. And if you get a new job or move to a new place that sucks, you might only feel bad because you know what it's like to have a job you enjoy, or at least enjoy more, and to live somewhere that you enjoy living. And when you look at it like that, we're owed nothing. We're on this life for a short period of time, and we're really owed nothing. But when you look at it like that, it's a lot easier to be grateful, to operate from a state of gratitude, and to change your attitude to that. And once you have that mindset, opportunities will just naturally come to you. Situations that other people would dread or would almost lose themselves in will become something that's just a situation that you handle. And that's what builds perseverance. That's what builds your peace, your resilience, and that's what builds you into a stronger and more noble version of yourself. And it's not something external that you need. It's not something outside of anything that's already within you. It's just a shift in your perspective, a shift in your mindset. Shukr, gratitude, appreciation for what you have and what you don't. There's a quote in the Quran that comes to mind, paraphrasing, but it's something along the lines of, perhaps you love something and you don't know, but God knows that that thing is actually terrible for you, and He takes it away from you. And perhaps you dislike something and you don't know, but God knows that that thing is actually good for you, and He puts it in your life. And maybe you don't realize it in the moment, but in hindsight, we can often look back and be like, oh, that makes sense. So the next time you're hit with adversity, or you feel like you failed, or you feel like a failure, which none of us are, you're breathing, you're watching this, there's still an opportunity to change. But the next time you feel those negative feelings creep in, just remember, you have everything in front of you right now within you to create that change that you desire. But it all starts with you. So yeah, be grateful, guys. Shukr, the Arabic word for gratitude, and something I constantly remind myself of in practice and show towards my Creator. Alhamdulillah. And once you live through that frame, there's not much in life that can really make a big hit on you, or at least not much that you can't get back up from, besides death. And that's inevitable. So before that happens, live your life with more purpose, more compassion, less self-criticism, self-doubt, self-hatred, whatever it is. It's okay. You can change. You have what it takes. Believe in yourself. self-belief is key. And then take the steps, take the action, have faith, and know that things can and will work out, God willing. Thank you guys for watching. I'm grateful that you're here, staying tuned until the end, and I hope to see you in the next one. Salam.